How's it going, everybody? I'm gonna wanted to do this little video, get something out for you guys. I got some stuff, but it's on the computer, and this is on my phone, so it'll just be easy to upload, be easy to push out. Try to do all of it in one take. Before it gets too dark here, we got our first kind of blast of fall. Temperature dropped quite a bit today. I think it was like in the 90s this weekend, and today the high was in the 70s, I think. So the weather down here on the Gulf Coast can be pretty crazy like that. In 2 days you go from having a high in the 90s down to having lows in the 60s. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of do this video. My pups, Oak, little nubs just to go in, and just for those of you that may be wondering, Oak, his tail is he was born like that. So he was born with a dock tail, and Aspen wasn't. Pretty interesting. But anyway, here is the reason for the video. Look at all that green. Holy cow. Holy cow. And I got Rock of Ages saw in today for the cancer thing. But so I'm gonna make this video on these Poulan saws. My wife's driving up right now, so a little bit of a distraction. But anyway, this is kind of the progression of Poulan through essentially the late 60s on to the 90s. These two, the 306A and the 245A, were released at relatively the same time in the early 70s. But these two saws had prototypes in the 60s. One was the, what was it, 202, and one was the 222. And they were kind of like almost a forest or hunter green color. They weren't this kind of Poulan green here. They were slightly a different color. And there are some early versions of these that are the same color. These were kind of the later versions. But these were the early 70s is when they were released. And come 1975 was the Counter Vibes. Counter Vibes got released, and that includes the 4200 and the 5200, and they were this color here. They were both the lime green. Now there's a 5200 Counter Vibe that's got the black top, and that one come a little later. I can't think of the exact date at which the black top appeared. My guess would be the late 70s, because it was pretty early in the 80s that it the 5200 transitioned to the 5400, and the 4200 transitioned into the 4400, and they changed this kind of retro 70s kind of hippie looking Counter Vibe to a more generic decal, which I kind of like the hippie looking one better, if you ask me. But so next up was the Counter Vibe 3400, 3700, and 4000. The 3400 was first, I think, in like 78, and then the 4000 and 3700 I think came out in The Tiny Human is Unhappy. But lost my train of thought. It's okay, I still love you. The Counter Vibe 4000 and the 3700 came out in the early 80s, I think, like 80, probably anywhere from 1980 to 82 was when they came out. And those models pretty much stayed around all the way up to the 90s. They had a change in color scheme to a black and green scheme that you see on the Counter Vibe 69, 77, and 8500s that look like this. So these were being sold at the same time all the way up until they kind of redid everything, and this was like the last, in my opinion, the last real good chassis that they come out with. The 3450 and the 3750. Now that chassis, or the case, spanned several different models. I'll probably forget some of them, but it was the 28, the 3000, 2800, 3000, 3300, and 3500, and then the 3450 and the 3750. I think they all shared the same crankcase, and depending on what cylinder, depending on the cylinder size, it was either fed through the piston or crankcase, fed through the crankcase. As we found in the video of the teardown, and I found the windows cut out of the crankcase to be case fed into the transfers, and I did end up cutting those into the base of the cylinder. And when you see the videos of me testing this thing, you'll see that it unlocks a lot of horsepower for this saw. I just got my logos in. Bayou Country Power Saws, and got my 40-to-1 fuel mixture sticker on there, and we'll have video of this thing coming up soon. The Tim Allen Signature Series, I couldn't tell you when that came out. This particular saw, I think, was, when I was doing research online, was around 1997. Probably a little earlier than that. That 3000 series, the 28, 2800, 3000, 33, 35, 3450, and 3750 were all through the 90s. And then after the 90s, it kind of dwindled down. And these also had counterparts in the Poulan Pro line, because remember, the Poulan Pro line launched in was it 1988, and all their, what they considered more pro models, went over to that line, and this is one of them. For a 60cc saw, that thing rips pretty good. I think Mr. Jeff's gonna be happy. Pretty sure it's Mr. Jeff. Hold on, let me check real quick. Mr. Jeff, if that's not your name, I'm really sorry. Yes, Mr. Jeff, out in Hawaii. But all beautiful saws. I just love that green. I wanted to do a video while I still had like all the, because this one isn't mine, and this one's being sold back to the guy who I bought it from. I told him if he ever wanted it back, I would sell it back to him, because it's his brother's. So that's going back to him. And I wanted to get a kind of a family video while they were all here in one spot. But so late 60s to mid 70s, mid 70s all the way up to the pretty much the 90s through the different iterations of this saw. Same thing here, except it was like 80s to 90s, 90s to 2000s. And there's a lot of, if you're familiar with Mac, you'll see that there's a lot of similarities in these and the Macs. During this time period, there were a lot of people that were kind of taking styling from other saws, whether it's because they liked it or they thought it was functional, or if they were just trying to kind of copy some of the aesthetic to help sell saws. But this saw, despite looking like the Mac 1010s, they don't feel anything like the Mac 1010s or any of the 1010 series. Share no parts. Literally the only thing that makes them look similar is the recoil, which this is the stupidest recoil design I've ever seen. The dude who designed that needs a little slap in the face. But the recoil cover here, and because you can see, you know, Mac had their start over here, and this was just a, you know, event for the flywheel, where Poulan, whoever come up with that, you know, I don't know who it was, but that was idiotic. Because you have to take the flywheel off to even get to the recoil. It's pretty stupid. But other than that, that's pretty much the similarities. That's where the similarities stop. This cover, this band, the pistol grip is similar, and this insert is similar, and that's it. That's where the similarities end. Both these are reed valve saws. This one's 74 cc's and this one's 58. They don't have the RPM that the Macs do, but they have similar. This one's got a lot of grunt. This one is pretty grunty, but just the piston ported design of the 1010 really overshadows this design, in my opinion. These saws are probably some of the strongest saws ever made for their size. Yeah, it's kind of bulky for a 69cc saw, but when you upgrade to the 5400, the power of that saw is unreal. It outcuts 90cc saws, 90cc, 100cc saws. This was a pretty peppy saw, but I mean, it was pretty decent. It wasn't anything special, to be honest with you. Those, I like those. They're really light, but and people, they have a pretty large cult following. But after I did the work to that one, I love it. I freaking love it. Sorry, my phone filled up, so I'm gonna have to splice these two videos together, which is a pain in the butt. I was trying to do it all in one take. Didn't work. Crap. Anyway, after I done the work to that saw, freaking love it. Freaking amazing. Extremely light. Lot of power. Without the work done to it, in my opinion, it's an okay saw, but it's nothing like it is when it's been modified. But so that's the overview of the evolution of Poulan. Pretty much all the good saws there. I hope you enjoyed. I'll have some more videos coming soon. Once I get most of the saws here, I'll put them all and I'll kind of all line them up for the the saws for calls are Valerie Strong builds and giveaway. It's builds, Valerie Strong builds. Builds / repairs, I guess, because I'm not building all of them. I'm repairing some and selling those, and then some of them I am gonna build into logging saws. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming soon. And I'm also trying to get some footage of me actually like porting, which I have, but I also ran out of footage on my phone and it stopped, and I'm not very good at keeping what I'm doing in frame. I'm struggling with that, so you'll see when you watch the video. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all have a good week. Mine's pretty good. Today was good, kind of good at least. So hopefully that means the rest of the week will go smoothly. But I'm gonna do some more cutting this weekend, more testing on the 3750. So hopefully I can push some footage out next week. But anyway, y'all have a good one, and we'll catch you next time.